Hey geeks and gamers. Sometimes growing up, you have those games that just stick with you for certain reasons. Either the early childhood memory, or it's something you played with a family member or a friend. It's just something meaningful to you. We all have those games. And today, this isn't the original version that I played as a kid, but um, Bubble Bobble is one of those games for me. This is Bubble Bobble Old and New for the Gameboy Advance. Bubble Bobble is a Taito arcade game where you play as two dinosaurs. It's a two-player co-op game if you want it to be. And you blow bubbles, entrap enemies, and each level you must clear the level of the enemies within the time limit. Pretty simple idea. There's 100 levels. It's a fantastic arcade game. I love this game. And why I said it stuck with me and why it's something that's really meaningful to me, this game is actually my mom's favorite game of all time, the original Bubble Bobble, which here on Bubble Bobble Old and New, you get the original Bubble Bobble along with what is basically the original game but with a new coat of paint, hence the old and new. I actually did play this game as a kid. I had this version on GBA. Actually, I could probably say I've played most versions of Bubble Bobble, be it the arcade game, the NES version, this version, the version on PlayStation, the version on the Taito Legends on PS2, the version on the Wii Virtual Console, the version on the Switch, the version on DS, which had its own original game, the version on Game Gear. I've played a lot of Bubble Bobble in my time, and I can really say that that stems from this being my mom's favorite arcade game. Now, yes, people think it's weird whenever I talk about gaming and then I talk about my mom, because a lot of us, I think, have the same generation of parents that grew up with the stigma of video games rot your brain and blah, blah, blah. My parents weren't like that, especially my mom. My mom has always been into video games. That's how I got into video games, was through my mom. So not only is this her favorite arcade game and stuff, and we played it a ton when I was little, we still play games together. Actually, at the time of recording this video, we are currently playing through the Borderlands games. Yes, we're playing through Borderlands. We played through the first game. We are on the second game, like 10 hours into the second game. It's something that I usually go over their house like once a week or so, and we hang out and we play some video games. That's just how I grew up. I'm very thankful for that my parents were supportive of my hobbies and what I love to do. They never shied away from showing me support with being creative, be it with video games, with filmmaking, with making stupid videos for the internet. They've always been very supportive. So this review goes out to my mom. Thanks, Mom. Bubble Bobble, like I said, is an arcade game with 100 levels. Now, what's weird to me is the fact that this is on GBA. I get it though. I mean, you're getting two versions of the same game. That's pretty cool. But I get it because 100 levels, this could keep you busy for a while, especially back in the 2000s, whatever. You don't have everything streaming to you on your phone. This is your entertainment. What's weird to me is just the fact that, like, I've never played this game alone very often, and so playing it alone here feels very strange because I'm used to having another person with me, playing with my mom growing up, we had, for each stage, we had, she has it memorized. We have like a set thing we need to do to, get the best score, to get the power ups, to get the extends, to get the what they call it the graveyard, which is like a bonus thing. Yeah. So playing it by myself, I lose some of that. But it's still fun here on GBA. I think playing both the old and new versions here work really well. I think if you're looking for an arcade game on GBA, this is great. I just kind of wish, growing up sometimes you have to do things with your parents or, with your family. But at the time, I don't know, you could be like a bit of a brat. I know I was at least. Growing up, like I said, always played games with them. But, whenever I had a PS2, especially, they wanted to play the Title Collection, the Title Legends Collection, and this a lot. And at that point in my life, I was younger. My focus was on like, I want to play something new and exciting, and I don't want to play those old stinky games. I want to play a new game. So I would often complain that I had to, that we had to play the older games and stuff. Which is funny because I'm super into retro games now. But when you're a kid, you just you don't really think about like that. You just think about like, oh, these are the flat games, and I want like the big games. I tell you what, though, to be perfectly honest, growing up, going through the experiences that I have, facing the hardships that I have, I would trade anything to go back to those cool afternoons after I've gotten off the school bus. My mom asked me, "Hey, do you have any homework today?" And I lie to her and say no because I don't want to do any homework. And we decide to sit down until my dad gets off work and we can eat dinner. We sit down and play Bubble Bobble. That's whenever life was simpler. When I could really enjoy just being a kid, spending time with my family, which I still do, spend time with my family. But you always have the hardships of adulthood, on your shoulders, no matter what you're going through now. So I just kind of miss those simpler days, and be it this version, the NES version, whatever version of Bubble Bobble I pop in, whenever I start playing it, in some way it takes me back to those days where I could just be a kid, enjoy the time with my mom. So again, I want to thank my mom for really getting me into video games. Obviously, I never grew out of it. It wasn't just like a fad, as some people would tell me as I was growing up. Video games are part of who I am, and Bubble Bobble will always be part of who I am. Never thought I'd get so sentimental over a fucking Gameboy Advance game, did ya?